we'll start our webinar. Nice to see a few familiar faces, and we've got some people on here that we've not seen on our webinars before, so welcome to you all. Going to be the longest minute, I think. There we are. We're on 11 o'clock, and I feel like we've got enough people to start. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name's Sophie. I'm one of the key partnership managers over here at Lime. And today we are joined by Alison Ward from British Airways and Melina Colley from Visit Austin. So today we're going to be talking about all things Austin and BA. So first of all, we're going to jump in, and Alison's going to let us know about the route, the frequencies, as well as the British Airways product for those of you that are not so familiar. So welcome, Alison. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great to see everybody. Thank you for joining the call. So we're really super excited to be joining you today to really celebrate our frequency and our flying to Austin. We launched the route in 2014 and last year celebrated our 10th anniversary of flying to Austin. So super excited to be flying to that destination. In terms of getting to Austin, our current schedule for summer 2025 is 13 flights per week. So we operate double daily with the exception of a Saturday. We operate from London Heathrow Terminal 5 on the 2 flights a day, the earlier flight and an afternoon flight. And the beauty of having the afternoon flight is it allows for lots of domestic connections. So we see some good domestic traffic connecting through London Heathrow. As we move, I'm just going to touch it a little bit on winter, but as we move into winter, we actually reduce frequency. So we fly 7 per week in winter. And then good news for summer next year, we're actually moving to a double daily service. So we will be operating double daily 7 days a week. So increasing frequency then. For any of your customers who are interested in a road trip in Texas, just touching on the fact that we also operate to Dallas, Fort Worth and Houston. So there's an opportunity for people to use the Austin service as part of a road trip. And we find that that works extremely well. In terms of the product, we operate an A350 on the route to Austin. That aircraft has a Club World, World Traveller and World Traveller Plus product. Excuse me 1 second. We actually operate the new Club World product on that, which is all forward-facing seats. So it's a fabulous product. We're rolling it out across our fleet, but the fact that we operate up in Austin is just great, and we're getting great feedback on that product. In terms of London Heathrow Terminal 5, we operate lounges there, which obviously is great for your customers, particularly those that are connecting through. We have the Concorde Lounge, which is our premium lounge. That is for people flying first class and our highest exec card members, a select group of exec card members. And then we have 2 galleries lounges, and that lounge is open to any gold card holders and also anybody flying in our Club World product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Alison. Now we're going to move on to Melina from Visit Austin. But first of all, I'm just going to play a quick video that will give you a little bit of an overview on Austin. Just bear with me. We've been fighting with tech this morning, but I think we've just about got there. So hopefully you'll all be able to hear this as well.
Drums, please.
Let me stop sharing there. Fabulous.
Can you see the PowerPoint again?
Nope, not yet, but I think it took a little second to come back up this time.
I might need to reshare it. Fine.
There we go, we've got it.
Okay, let me just put it in full screen mode. Is that okay? Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Melina Colley. I work for Visit Austin. I've been with Visit Austin since the inaugural flight, which went out on in 2014. So I was involved in the launch of that, and we are so happy to have BA as a partner across the route. It's been really instrumental in building the profile of Austin across the UK and European markets with the feeder flights. And it's just been exceptional, and a real testament to the success of the flight has been how well Austin is doing as a city in its own right, not just within the Texas product as standalone. A few years ago, we had to always put Texas after the word Austin. We definitely don't have to do that anymore, so that speaks for itself. In terms of where Austin is situated, it's right in the heart of the Texas Hill Country. So when you come in on the BA flight, it's only 20 minutes from downtown. As you're flying in, you will have seen on the video does a very good job of illustrating Austin and all the selling points, actually. Austin's home to US Formula One, so as you're coming in on that BA flight, you can see the viewing tower because the Circuit of the Americas racetrack is actually right next to the airport and super close to downtown. So we say 20-25 minutes, that's 4 or 5 songs to get into Austin. We're an hour from San Antonio. We are just over an hour to the west. We have Fredericksburg as well, which is wine country. And for those who are looking for fly drive itineraries, it's about 3 hours or so to Dallas and Fort Worth. So lots of opportunity on the fly drive itineraries. But if you want to just do a short triangle, that Austin, Fredericksburg, San Antonio is a super easy and quick drive through some lovely countryside. As you can see on the next slide, the beauty of the Hill Country, definitely in spring and this time of year, is the great outdoors. So while Austin is a capital city, you're a stone's throw from nature. On the bottom right, you can see the cycling. Lance Armstrong used to train around Austin because there are gentle inclines and steeper hills. It's great for shopping, boutique stores. You've got just outside of Austin in a place called the Domain, which is great for luxury shopping. And just the views, and to get a real quick access to the Hill Country where you can be outside in nature, lots of hiking and biking trails. And on the top left, you can see the national flower in Texas is the Texas bluebonnet, and they start coming out from like April onwards. So you've got like a carpet of wildflowers going outside of Austin into the Hill Country. We're called the live music capital of the world. We have over 250 live music venues in Austin. And people who aren't super familiar with the Texas product might think that is focused on Country music, not at all. We do have a bit of that naturally, but actually Austin is every genre of music you can think of, from hip hop to grime to rap to indie, every denomination. And most of the Uber drivers you're going to have and taxi drivers are going to be in a band playing somewhere that they'll tell you about, or their cousins in a band, or their mum or dad's in a band, quite often all of them. So it's really at the heart of what Austin is all about. It's a super creative hub and very chilled out. The reason why I wanted to play the video at the beginning also is for the Austin vibe. Austin is a vibe in itself, and I think it's important to illustrate that via the music in the video and all the different activities. It's just very cool. It's very laid back, and even though it's the capital city, I just feel like people are unhurried there, and that hasn't changed for me in the last like 10 years or so. It still feels like super friendly and very welcoming as well. In terms of the two big festivals, you have South by Southwest, which a lot of people will have heard of in the UK. It's not just a big music festival, it's also tech and audio, and there's films premiering there as well. We have just had our first ever UK version of South by Southwest that they brought over here as a franchise that was in around Brick Lane and the Truman Brewery. And there's been one in Sydney, but that's the first time it's ever come out of Austin. But it's the iconic Austin festival is South by. And then coming up in October, a really good one for people that are interested in festivals after the festival season in the UK and Europe. We've got Austin City Limits, and that's always the first 2 weekends of October for 3 days. And that's just ahead of Formula One. So that's a great one if you want to do the second weekend of Austin City Limits Festival. That takes you straight into Formula One if you want to tie in two events during that trip. In terms of the music venues on this next slide, you've got quite a mix there. On the top right, you've got Zilker Park, which is where Austin City Limits is. It's a beautiful nature park, not far from downtown as well. That's about 20 minutes or so. On the top left, you've got the Empire, which is right in the heart of downtown. It's a kind of indoor-outdoor venue for big names, and there's kind of food trucks outside and stuff. That's a very cool experience as well. And you've got a lot of just the one that's at the bottom left. You can see in the background there, that's actually an Airstream. So you've got lots of these little stages. In fact, there's an Airstream at Austin Airport that sells tacos, and there's a live music stage there, which is very easy to forget that you're in the airport because it has such an Austin vibe. It feels like a normal bar, and sometimes you have to run for your flight. At the bottom right, you've got some jazz. That's the Elephant Rooms. So there's really every denomination of music that you can think of. In terms of festivals and events, top left, you've got Circuit of the Americas, Formula One, but it's not just Formula One in October. We also have a huge amount of races during the year as well. MotoGP, NASCAR, Lone Star Le Mans. They have an excellent go-karting track that visitors can use as well. And locals can go cycling on the track on it used to be on a Tuesday. I'm not sure if it's still on a Tuesday, but they use it for everything, including a winter wonderland at Christmas. There are loads of little festivals that go on across the year during Austin, so it doesn't matter whether you're a bit more on the shoulder season or off season. There's always going to be music and food and wine and beer festivals to go to. They pair very well, craft beer, food, and wine and music in Austin in terms of their events. Zilker Park gets used a lot, and you can see while you're there, you have that amazing backdrop of the city skyline. And it's right next to the river where all those hiking, biking trails are as well. So it's like super pretty, super outdoors city, and very walkable. In terms of the sports, I've mentioned Formula One, but we know that there's an increase in people going on holiday that want to tie in what their everyday leisure activities are. So people go out for the half marathon, 10K runs, different runs in the hill country. Golf is big as well. We've got PGA, and Austin also has its own soccer team, proper football, Austin FC, which we'll hear Matthew McConaughey talking about quite a lot. And that's super popular within Austin as well. In terms of food and drink, so barbecue is associated, and quite rightly so, with Texas. We've got a lot of barbecue. Maybe the most famous one is Franklin's, where you've consistently got a queue of about 5-6 hours outside. That people queue that long because the food is so good to go there. Some people pay other people to go in the queue for them. And you've got Blacks, Coopers, all sorts of different types of barbecue. Austin barbecue is a dry rub. So you just put the salts and herbs and spices on it and leave it in the smoker for 12 hours. You don't have to have sauces with it. Each city has a very different take on barbecue, and I find the brisket in Austin always feels like quite clean barbecue. Margaritas, super popular in Austin, and the Tex-Mex influence you can see through all of the food trucks and the takeaway food offerings there as well. And craft beer is quite big also. We have from a lot of Tex-Mex places that the national dip is called queso, which is a cheese dip, which is chili and garlic and cheese, which they dip tacos in. That's like super popular. And yeah, you've got a wide variety of other food there as well. So interestingly, the Texas was partnered with the Michelin Awards in this last year, 2024. And the Michelin guide comes from Michelin, what we call Michelin, sell tires. And in the early 20th century, they wanted to sell more tires, but they needed a reason to get people driving to wear out their tires. So they set up the Michelin Guide, getting people to drive around the countryside and use their tires up, and offering them reviews on different restaurants and cafes and places where you could stop along the road to have food. That turned into the famous Michelin Guide, which turned into in the 20s, the Michelin Awards. So now everybody recognizes a Michelin-starred restaurant as a sign of quality. So Texas partnered with the Michelin Awards last year, and out of the 15 one-star awards for restaurants in the whole of Texas, 7 of them went to Austin. So Austin is a huge culinary destination, not just for barbecue and Tex-Mex, but also for high-end cuisine. Here's an example of more of the outdoors. You've got the food trucks on the bottom left there. Food trucks, there are about 1,400 of them in the city. So you've got these kind of trailer parks where they're static, but also whenever you're coming out of your favorite bar or music venue, then you're going to have food trucks outside doing brisket and tacos. You find them at 2 a.m., which they're super helpful for when you're coming out of bars and need feeding. And also they're open at 7 a.m. for people getting up in the morning after an evening out, let's say. Tacos for breakfast is actually quite amazing. And then on the bottom right-hand side, you've got Stubbs Barbecue. That's a really famous venue. They have a wonderful gospel breakfast on a Sunday. And they have a huge outdoor area where they do big concerts. But their gospel breakfast is really cool. They have an outdoor barbecue, and then they have all these gospel bands come up on stage, including whole families and little kids and stuff. So that's a quite cool, unique thing to do. We are quite familiar, we weren't 10 years ago, with Tito's vodka. I remember whether they didn't really sell it in the UK. Tito's now you'll find like all over the world, but we sell a lot of it in the UK as well. It's handcrafted in Austin. So that's their signature drink. There's another vodka called Deep Eddy, flavored vodkas, which you can go and go to the distillery. That's quite a nice day trip to that as well. Craft beer is really big. And then the bottom right, if you go out, short journey into the hill country over to Fredericksburg, 12,000 people in Fredericksburg, and there's over 75 wineries. So that's proper wine countries. Parts of it, it's very green and leafy. Parts of it look like Tuscany, is what I can say. And they have dark sky areas as well. So that's a really nice place to go for stargazing. You've got 2 designated dark sky parks there. In terms of wellness, we don't always equate city breaks to wellness, but Austin is super outdoors, and it has a huge amount of days of sunshine. And you've got Lady Bird Lake, which is the lower Colorado River that you can see there, dammed off either side. Lady Bird Lake was named after Lady Bird Johnson, LBJ, the president's wife. She was quite an eco warrior, and she was instrumental in dredging out that lake. and making it clean. And she was into conservation and is responsible for a lot of the wildflower seeding that you'll see across the countryside as well in the hill country. You'll see a lot of people doing yoga around the side of the lake, hiking and biking, and canoeing and paddleboarding. We have only non-motorized water sports in the lake because there are turtles in it. So a lot of people, you'll see kayaking and canoeing on a weekend, but also during the week as well. You see people with dogs on the front of their paddleboards and things as well. In terms of actual spas, there's really cool spa product in Austin in the downtown hotels, and there's a lot of like rooftop pools as well and wellness areas. And then you've got the more higher end ones like Miraval, which is just about half an hour outside of town, and Lake Austin Spa, which is quite famous as well, very high end. And then we move on to Congress Avenue, Batbridge, which is right in the heart of downtown. It's on the same street, although about 20-minute walk from the Capitol building. And you'll see people at sunset in between March and October leaning across this bridge, and all the paddleboards and kayaks underneath and the electric boats waiting for the bats to come out. They come in, and these are bats, not birds. They come in around March time, and they found a little hidey place under the bridge, which they arrived from Mexico, about 750,000. They have their babies in there, safe from prey. There's a road widening initiative underneath, so they managed to crawl in there. They have their babies, and by the time they go back to Mexico on holiday in October, there's 1.5 million of them. And it's a very unique, weird Austin experience to see them come out in bursts at night. The locals love them because they eat all the mosquitoes, and the local farmers love them because they eat the bugs, therefore they don't have to use all the nasty pesticides. And then this is really close to downtown as well, which you wouldn't expect. Austin's built on an aquifer, so with spring-fed pools right underneath the city, and this is one of them, Barton Springs. And it's like swimming in mineral water, basically. There's this really low cover charge of about $10, I think it is, which goes back to the looking after the nature and the environment. It's a really cool place to swim, and it maintains its temperature year round, which is about 20 degrees. So if you go in the winter, it feels quite warm, and if you go in the summer, it feels nice and cool. And then, yeah, just going back to the BA flight, which we're like we're so lucky to have like such a successful flight and a great partnership with BA. And as Alison said, we've got non-stop double daily, and I'm going to hand back to Sophie. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, Austin is a real cool, vibey place to go. And 10 years, 11 years on, I'm still going there and finding out new places to go and things to do.
Thank you so much, Melina. I now want tacos and margaritas, and it's only 11:30. Thank you again. I don't know, but I probably speak for everybody that actually Austin seems so much more than you would initially anticipate, and it's like it's a whole experience, isn't it? So we're so happy to have had you come on and explain more about the city, and we can totally see why you love it. I didn't get to experience as much of Austin when I went because I was at a conference, but I really wish I had been able to stay longer. We do have an incentive like we always do on our webinars. So you will have seen last week we launched an incentive that's actually running for quite a long period of time. So if you fancy winning one of our fantastic prizes, book British Airways to Austin via Lime between the 4th of July and the 30th of September for your chance to win one of 4 prizes. So we've got a Cosmo Grill outdoor XXL smoker barbecue. So I think all of these are really relevant to Austin. We've also got a £200 dining out voucher. So one of those Michelin Guide restaurants you'll be able to experience. Wireless turntables with speakers, and there's also a £200 Ticketmaster voucher as well. So that's a booking incentive. We will be collating all of the bookings at the end of the incentive period, and then we will be drawing our winners from there. We do also have a quiz. We like to put a quiz in our webinars too. So Alison's going to drop that into the chat, and it's usually, the deadline is usually 5 p.m. the following day. So hopefully I've got that correct. And that will have a quiz that will enable you to win prizes on there as well. So we'll be quizzing you on what Melina and Alison have been telling you throughout the webinar. But thank you again so much all for joining us. Thank you so much to my co-hosts, Alison and Melina. And yeah, thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.